Hey guys, Joshua's Boosters here, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and this will actually be the follow-up to my Making Magical Musketeers series good in 2021. I'm really excited about this one. Finally I'm gonna take a look at another deck for basically the coming month. I will be uploading this on the 1st of February, so basically like the 1st to the 28th. I will be doing this series, hopefully anyway. You never know what happens. But yeah. If you guys did watch the previous series, you guys know that in the last video I asked you guys like what deck you would like to see me do, and I got some really great suggestions. I had Heroes, which I considered. I had Salamangreat, which I considered, but most of the Salamangreat I really would have liked to do that deck because I think it definitely has potential, right? I know there's a lot of people who like the deck, but I just think there's not a lot of ways to go to actually play the deck in a competitive way, and I really would like a deck I can try like different variants of. And then probably my favorite deck that got recommended to me was actually Crystron, and I don't mean like hulky Firebrax, generic tuner, non-tuner, wombo combo, VFD, very fun dragon combo, but like actual Crystrons. But in the end I actually decided to go with another deck, which will be, and you'll already know it because you saw the thumbnail and you can read the title, I mean probably since you're still a Yu-Gi-Oh player, Orcust. So yeah guys, like I said in the intro, Orcust. Now before I get into the actual deck profile, I just want to tell you like a little bit, there's like a little bit of a story between me and this deck. Actually in 2018 when the first cards for this deck were released, so like I don't even think Galatea existed, or like maybe Galatea exists but Dingirsu for sure didn't. I actually was toying with a blind second version of this deck to play at YCS Niagara Falls. It was like really weird with the dark kaijus and allure and stuff, and basically just focused on going second and OTKing, but the build I found at that moment just wasn't that successful. Eventually I think at Deception actually did, I think, top 4 a YCS with basically the same concept of a deck but way better. And I eventually topped Niagara Falls with Burning Abyss. So in the end it was all good, but like I always really liked this deck, and then at some point in the meta it became like tier 1 and really popular, and in the form it was like Sky Striker, Thunder Dragon, Salamangreat, and basically at that point I played Magical Musketeers funnily enough, and then later, or like in between, I played Sky Striker just because I enjoyed those decks more. But I always thought this deck was pretty cool, and then at some point, Girsu here got released, which was supposed to really boost this deck, but it just never really took off ever since the Girsu got released, right? There were always just decks that were better than this deck. But I actually toyed with this deck a lot at locals last year, before the lockdown and stuff. And I really had a lot of fun with it. This build you're seeing here is actually super similar to the build I was playing at locals at that time. Because I figured it was a good starting point. I did, make some changes to the build like it was back then. I never even won locals with this, by the way. Or I think I did one time, but just because like everybody, or not everybody of course, but like a certain amount of people all went X1, and then I just had the best ties. So I never went like undefeated with this or anything, but I always really enjoyed it, and I think it definitely has potential, especially I feel like in this format it can definitely do something. I'm willing to explore, and what I like a lot about this is you can go a lot of routes with this. You can go like with the PKs and stuff, which I will definitely be trying, of course, but for now I'm actually playing this build, so let's just quit my rambling and get into the deck profile. So for the Orcust engine, I'm obviously playing 3 Girsu, which is like the 1-card starter. And then I'm playing a very small Orcust engine actually, which are just 1 Nightmare, 1 Skeleton, 1 World Wand, and then I'm playing the Gizmek, And just because in some combos you get a lot of opportunities to send machines to the graveyard with Scrap Recycler here, and then it's just a nice extender to have. It does, however, conflict with the Dragoon engine which I'm playing in this deck. And honestly, you could do without it, but for now I'm playing it, but I'm definitely considering cutting this. And then the actual best starter in the deck is monster starter anyway, is Scrap Recycler here. I mean, if you don't know what it does, it's for sure gonna come up in the replay I'm gonna show you. But this is just a really powerful starter that you know, it forces you to play 2 bricks. And you could go for a build where you don't play the bricks at all, but then it would have to be a totally different build from what I'm going to show you. But we'll probably get to that as well. So yeah, triple Scrap Recycler paired with the 1 Golem, which is the Garnet basically, and the 1 Rosenix. Before you send Jet Synchron to the graveyard with Scrap Recycler, but now you're sending Rosenix to spawn a token, and you eventually go into Scrap Wyvern, which we'll see later. So we are actually playing a Crystal card. But yeah, you just send this and then you can banish to make a token. And then I'm also playing the Machina engine. For those who don't know what this does, basically you have the redeployment, which gets you these to the hand, and then basically there's like a small combo you do where you summon this, and then this one actually allows you to search for Scrap Recycler without using your normal summon. So that's really good, especially even if they manage to stop the Scrap Recycler, you can just go into Wyvern and try that play. And then I'm playing the 1 Fortress to, you know, supplement the card I'm gonna be showing later. And then the last actual monsters I want to say in this list are, this is a going second list. I'm playing 2 Purple Nightfall and 1 Mech Knight Blue Sky. Because, you know, they help you get to your starter, and they are also somewhat extenders with the Scrap Recycler. Just, you know, to have more consistency. In this build we're basically playing, let me count, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 starter cards. And that's ignoring some combos you can draw of certain cards to, you know, still combo. But yeah, then I'm playing the Dragoon package, so of course I'm playing Red Eyes and Dark Magician here. I'm playing second, so I'm playing some hand traps. I decided to go with Ash Blossom just because I feel this is the most generic good hand trap in the format right now. And then Ghost Bell, mostly just to play around stuff like Call by the Grave from your opponent and, you know, stuff like DD Crow. And then also it's just a good defensive card as well. So yeah, I'm playing Foolish. I should go without saying, I think. Then I'm playing Triple Droplet because we're going second. So we want to, you know, beat stuff like Herald of Ultimateness, Venti's Ruler. Then Lightning Storm for the same reason, but this is also good against back row decks. Then we're playing Machina Redeployment, which says you can discard 1 card and then add 2 Machina monsters with different names from deck to the hand, which you will always be adding this Machina Irradiator and Machina Megaform. Or you can discard 1 Machina Ant and then you can add 2 Machina cards with different names from each other from your deck to your hand, but we're not playing those, so that's never gonna come up. Then we're also playing Urgent Schedule, which says if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower and 1 level 5 or higher Earth Machine monster from your deck in defense position, but negate their effects. And then after this, you can also not declare attacks with anything but machines, which basically allows you to summon usually Fortress and Recycler from your deck to again go into the Scrap Wyvern play, which we are gonna see later. Then I am playing the Lip combo, so I'm playing World Legacy Succession, which you will also see in the replay later if you're not familiar with it. Then Red Eyes Fusion, Babel, the Flute spell, which makes everything quick play, and 1 Crescendo. I'm not playing Return just because I'm playing a really low amount of Orcust monsters, right? And I just feel it's not relevant. Basically, if you draw 1 of these, it's fine. You just, you know, set the other with Galatea. But these 4 are basically the bricks of the deck. Then the side deck, honestly, this is just pretty random. I choose this together just to get, you know, get into the first games. I'm playing Elav's Psycho Reader against Drytron, Nibiru just against combo-like stuff, Triple Cyclone versus back row decks, Talent, you know, against hand traps or combo decks. Then if I think they're gonna make me go first, or if I'm up against a really, you know, oppressive combo deck, I'll just go first after siding, and I'll side in this, and then I'm playing 1 red reboot. For the extra deck, we have 1 Dragoon, 2 Dingirsu. You could get away with playing 1, but I just enjoy 2 for the grind game. Access Code Talker, Appaloosa, which comes up in one of the combos, 2 Galatea, IV Masquerena, Unicorn, these are like a combo, right? Lip for the combo. Linkuriboh, you need to play this because if you don't, you can't actually go into Galatea with Girsu. Then I'm playing Platinum Gadgets. Just in advance, I'm probably gonna cut this card. But there's like some stuff that might come up if you open both Girsu and Scrap Recycler. And then we're playing, of course, Verte, Scrap Wyvern, and the top loading 0 Boros, which might also come up. So yeah, I actually have 2 replays instead of 1 for this one. Or I should say like 2.5, because the very first match I played with this deck, well, you'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll just dive into that. So this was the very first match I played with this deck. As you can see, I'm up against 49 cards. My opponent won the die roll and elected to go first. So let's get into it then. Okay, so starting off with my hand, I have double Scrap Recycler, World Want, Forbidden Droplets, and Urgent Schedule. So I basically have 2 starters, or 3 I guess, but you can only summon one of these. So, you know, 2 starters, which is good, like if I have to play through a negate or something. And then I've dropped it to, you know, disrupt any monster negates. So this hand is looking pretty strong, I would say. Then we have this, but it's really good. It can be really annoying to draw this, but since we can discard it of Droplet, that's absolutely fine. Then my opponent, and this is going to be fun, is actually playing the Phantom Knight deck. He opened Sabers, Cloak, Gloves, Tour Guide, and Emergency Teleport here, so really good hand for him as well. There's a lot of cool things you can do with this hand. I think he can even do like the Appaloosa full combo with this, probably. Yeah, I think so. I think he should be able to do Appaloosa, Nightmare, and Verte, because he has all these cards. But yeah, let's see what happens. He's gonna go Tour Guide. I obviously don't have any hand traps, so you can just play. Gonna bring out the Gref, Cherubini, and Gref's gonna bring out Seer. So yeah, I'll try not to go too in depth about the Phantom Knight stuff, but he's gonna make some interesting plays here. He's gonna actually send Boots, which is a bit weird, I want to say, because you usually want to send Cloak or Gloves from this. Though I guess it is possible he's, you know, playing only one of those. Like, it seems unlikely in a 49 card build, but you know, it's possible for sure. And then what he could have done here is actually go Emergency Teleport, use the effect of this, go Levier. Oh no, that's actually not good, because then he couldn't trigger the Thorn Skill. Never mind. He's just gonna go for basically the standard Tour Guide combo here, opting not to use the Emergency Teleport yet. So of course gonna bring back Cherubini and then send the Thorn Skills. And then he's gonna set Fog Blade, which is fine. He can still get the Shade Brigandine from Boots, which he will do here. Trigger the Thorn Skills. Then he's gonna discard the Gloves, send the Cloak. So he's actually playing 2 Cloak. So I think I feel like it would have been a little bit better, just in case I have some form of disruption. You know, to send the Cloak before the Boots. But I guess, you know, if I don't stop Tour Guide, maybe I don't have any follow-up anyway. I don't have any disruption anyway. But yeah, he's gonna add the Boots here. And then actually what he should have done here, I feel, is he should have gone Shade Brigandine, and then there's like a couple of routes he could have taken. Probably, let's think it through. You could go Emergency Teleport, Levier, summon that back. Boost that, go into Appaloosa. Maybe he's just one monster short of like the entire combo plus Appaloosa. But there's like a couple of lines you could have taken here, which would have been definitely better than what's actually gonna happen here. He's gonna go Breaksword here, so that means he won't be able to go into Link Spider later. Which actually in this specific hand, it's not that important. Because he has access to the Gloves Engrave already anyway. He's gonna summon those back, and that means he's locked into darks, but then he's gonna go try into Appaloosa. I point out that's not a dark monster, so you can't do that. So, yeah. Gonna go into Nightmare. What you should have done here, I feel, is you should have gone Ragged Gloves, send Wings for Folkblade, then bring this back, then link with one of these for the Verte Anaconda, and then he could have oh no, that's not, he doesn't even need to do that. What he should have done is, like, he could have sent the Folkblades or the Wings to keep the disrupt with this and the Rusty Life, and then he could have gone this, overlay with one of these because they are level 4, and then link away with the other one, and then he would have basically like the basic combo, right? But then he's gonna go Link Spider here, which you can't do. So he's gonna be left with just a thing on field. Then he's gonna be forced to make this awkward play to go into the Verte because it requires an effect monster. And he's gonna end on this field, which is, I mean, let's be real, this is pretty good, except that it loses to Droplet pretty hard. And what do I have? Droplet. So, basically, I'm gonna try to bait the Folkblade because I know he has it. Just see what he does when I summon this, because when he tries to disrupt it with Dragoon, for example, instead of this, I can just go Droplet anyway. And the thing is, if he does decide to go Folkblade, I can just chain Droplet, and that would mean Recycler resolves anyway, and I can negate the Nightmare and the Dragoon, so he doesn't have any more negates. And then I still have Urgent Schedule to play as well. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. He's gonna go Folkblade. I'm gonna chain the Urgent Schedule just to see, you know, if he maybe has Ash or something. And then after that, I'm gonna go Droplets. I'm gonna send away those two because I want the one engrave, of course, and this way the Recycler actually resolves. So I'll bring out those and send Nightmare just so I have a guaranteed follow-up if he manages to actually stop my actual combo. So I tell him here, by the way, the blade stays on field, but he just ignores that. But it won't be that relevant, actually. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do the basic combo for this deck. So I'm just gonna walk you through it here, and then in the next video, I'm not gonna go into detail about it. I'm gonna go Scrap Wyvern, which basically it summons Scrap Recycler and then pops it again. And then when a Scrap monster is destroyed, you can actually summon a Scrap from deck and then pop a card on the field. So bring out the Golem, and then in this case, since I don't have any other cards on the field, oh, actually, no, sorry, I'm sorry, this is a misplay. This is like the way you play it when you go first, but I definitely shouldn't have done this. I can actually pop one of my opponent's cards with Scrap Wyvern since I'm going second, so I should have just, you know, popped the Dragoon probably, or it's not that relevant, and then that way I would have kept the Wyvern on the field as well. So this is definitely a misplay, but, you know, this is literally my first time playing this again in literal months. So yeah, but definitely don't do this if you're playing this deck. And then the Golem can bring out the Recycler to trigger its effect again. And then you normally want to send World 1 to the graveyard at some point with the Recycler effect, because it will allow you to go into Lip, but since we already had it, we can now just send what we want, basically. And then Lip says you can only summon it when you have a World Legacy in the graveyard, so in this case World 1. And then during your main phase, you can add a... sorry, not add, but set a World Legacy spell or trap, and you've already seen the decklist, so I'm gonna add or set the Succession. Which I'm gonna activate, so you can bring back Golem again, and you can trigger Golem again, since it's not a hard once per turn, that didn't exist back then. And then you can go Recycler again. Since I literally have access to everything, I'm just gonna send Gearsu here, which I can bring back with Skeleton later. And now I can actually go into Appaloosa, and since I have all these cards, I can still do like the Orcust combo after this, right? And then potentially I could have discarded the Orochi to bring back the, what's it called? The Machina Fortress, which would have definitely been the correct play to do here, but I didn't do it for some reason because I thought it was level 7, and I didn't want to discard both these because I want to keep a card in hand for the Dragoon Negate. I'm gonna shuffle Lip, And then I'm gonna reborn Gearsu, which allows me to. Oh right, there's nothing in the deck to send, so I'm not gonna send anything. Then basically I'm just gonna go the Orcs plays here, right? And you know, after this he will never be able to play through this after I break his board, which I will. And then actually my opponent just quits here. So yeah, that's why I decided to show you guys 2 replays, because I thought this one was pretty good, you know, navigating through the field and just showing off the combo, even though I did it totally wrong. But you get the gist. I think in the next one I do it better. But yeah, let's just hop into the next replay, which will be this one. If I remember correctly, I won the die roll, and I make him go first, of course. He's playing 60 cards, so again, decklist with more cards than me. My hand here is really good, I would say. I have Droplet, Ash, and then 2 Garnets. But this one is really annoying to draw usually as well, but if you can get to the grave with Droplet, it actually doesn't change the combo, so that's nice. I mean, change the combo a little bit, but you still get pretty much the same end result. But as you'll see, my opponent's actually playing like the Zephyra Needle Fiber or Hulky Firex deck that just turbos into VFD and then possibly traps. You know, just one Hulky Firex is the full combo, if you're familiar with this deck. And it's pretty annoying it actually has this, because it's gonna discard my Ash, and then I decided to not scoop actually, since I have to Droplet, and usually this deck, there's fields where it just ends on VFD, depending on the build. So I just wanted to see him play it out. He also has no cards in hand, so he has to draw something good of like any draw cards. But as you will be seeing when he's doing the combo, he's actually gonna be drawing about, if I remember correctly, 70 million cards with the Librarian here. And he's actually gonna hard draw the Strike here, which is in the end actually the card that you know, cost me the game. But he also draws like War and Pillar, so you know. But yeah, so if he didn't have the Strike, I would have, you know, Dropleted this, then Lightning Stormed his back row, and then go Scrap Recycler combo, and probably still win the game. But he did draw the Strike, so we're just not winning this game if we can't resolve any effects, right? So yeah, actually against this deck, just because it's so you know, pretty much impossible to play through, I opted to go first in the second game. I just don't want to be dealing with VFD. My hands are quite interesting here. I open, you know, 2 disruptions, 3 disruptions, basically, and then I have the option to go either Red Ice Fusion or Gearsu. In the end, I figured discard lost to less hand traps and stuff than discard it. So that's why I decided to go Red Ice Fusion first, and then also if I establish Dragoon now and he can't out it, next turn I have protection for my Gearsu play. Because of the Dragoon, right? So I felt pretty safe doing that, so I'm just gonna go Fusion, and this way I basically have 4 negates, I guess. And hopefully it's enough. Like, to be honest, I wasn't feeling that good about my situation, but you know. So obviously I didn't know my opponent's hand, and this is the first time watching the replay. But as you can see, his hand actually is just not able to play through my stuff. And then even these pretty much, you know, doesn't do that much against 2 cards, right? My opponent actually decides to go for the Time Lord, which I'm eventually gonna Droplet, discarding the Bell, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because I figured he would be able to play through these cards anyway. And then, as you can see, there's just literally nothing he can do at this point, because he has 4 normal summons in his hand, and these cards, they just don't do anything anymore. And then, you know, after this I can just go Gearsu, and that will be game. Because he has no disrupt, right? And even if he did, you know, he would need to, because I do have the Dragoon. And I think my opponent's just gonna scoop. Oh, he isn't, but this is actual game, because Nightmare boosts this with 800. So yeah, that's game. So, you know, this game wasn't that impressive, but it happens. And then in the last game, I think my opponent's gonna start. But our hand is gonna be absolutely insane. We have 2 starters, this for any back row, and then 2 hand traps, and then as far as I know, usually this deck, it just can't beat Nibiru. If you go Nibiru when he goes, you know, the Mecha Phantom Knight Link, it's basically turn over, which, if I remember correctly, is what we're gonna see here as well. It's gonna go Mecha Phantom Knight Link. I'm not gonna bell the 01, I'm just gonna nip him here. The only thing that's a little bit annoying about this is now we will both have 1 monster, assuming he doesn't continue comboing, and that means this isn't a starter anymore. So we just have this to start, but my line of thinking was basically, if this somehow gets negated, I'm just gonna normal summon the bell, and then make Dragoon, and then hopefully that will be enough against his 3 cards in hand. But as you'll see, he will not have any negates. So here I'm gonna do the Machina combo I was talking about. Basically, Irradiator discards Mega Form to summon itself, and then Irradiator can summon back Mega Form, which you will see here. And then Mega Form is gonna bring out the Metal Cruncher from the deck, which will then eventually add... I'm gonna review Triple Scrap Recycler, and then it's gonna add one of those. Then I'm gonna summon that. Then I'm gonna send, I think, Nightmare just to guarantee the follow-up, like I talked about last time. You can also send Rosenix and like extend further, but I feel this is just a little bit safer. And even, you know, without the Rosenix, this was game anyway, so... I think this time I'm actually gonna pop the token. Oh, okay, so apparently I'm not. Okay, guys, so please, you know, I know people are gonna say, oh, you could have popped your opponent's card. I know, I'm sorry. I should have just read the card before playing it again. That would have been... Wait, no. Sorry, my bad. Actually, this time I decided to not pop the token with the Wyvern, because I figured there might be a chance he had Gamma. This is actually true, guys. I promise this is true. And I think I just, you know, token being there is fine. I'm playing like a billion cards that destroy it. Or send it away from the field at least. So I decided to just keep it there and pop my own card to not randomly get hit by Gamma. I swear. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna do the... Oh, I'm not even gonna do the combo. As you can see, my opponent's just gonna scoop it up here. So, yeah, guys, that's it for the first installment of my new Making Orcust Good in 2021 series. I hope you guys, you know, enjoyed this deck and enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment. It's really good for engagement. And then, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe. I'm having a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh content coming your way coming weeks. For sure this series. And then there's, you know, some other unrelated stuff to this series I'm gonna do. And then if you're interested in the Digimon card game, I'm also doing content on that at least once a week. So yeah, enough shameless self-promotion. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.